So I woke from a dream that was very illuminating today. I was hanging out with some family and I decided to play a prank on my mom and hide her debit card, and she couldn't find it, and I was on the phone with somebody and she started freaking out, just yelling and just really freaked out. And I woke up and I thought about how the symbolism of this dream was about growing up in a stressed out household where money was always an issue. It was always an issue of stress, and that really made a big impression on me in terms of how I dealt with life. I think all this insight started coming to me about why I would drink at a early age, 13, to get drunk, just looking for some peace. And I would smoke pot for a long time as an adult. I would overeat at different times in my life if I was in a stressful situation. And I realized how I would also choose partners that would bring more stress into my life, because that's what I knew. And I really believe that what we do unconsciously is recreate situations in our life that are unresolved so that we can figure them out eventually. And take choosing a partner that brings more stress into my life, for example. If I could, in theory, help this person become less stressful, then symbolically it would be a way of recorrecting my childhood experience, helping a stressed out person learn to relax. But that is not very effective. And I think now, it's clear what I have to do is just learn how to be relaxed on my own. Stressed out partner, because the socio-biological drive is so high, the drive towards procreation and towards sex. It's like sex can create a little bit of time of relaxation and decreased stress, but the mind comes in again pretty quickly, and so that's why it's important to have a calm mind. That's where peace really resides, is in a calm mind. And I was realizing after this dream that I just am very particular about who I bring into my life at this time, because I can give myself peace. And if another person is going to bring stress into my life, then if they're willing to change that, work on that, that's one thing. But if they are addicted to stress and they think stress is normal, that's really not appealing to me, because I don't need that. Even if that person can provide sex in my life, then it's not worth, glimpses of relaxation and peace if the overall vibe is one of anxiety. So stress becomes normalized for a lot of people that grow up in stressful environments. And I think that probably the majority of people grow up in stressful environments because their parents are typically not going to be very conscious or self-aware. So that's the norm. So I think that, our challenge as individuals is to reclaim peace. No matter what we came from, we need to recognize that even if stress was the norm, it doesn't have to continue to be the norm. We can make a new norm and stop creating stressful situations in our life. And I was also reflecting on how, for so many people, and growing up where there was families with kind of ongoing stress, there were these breaks from stress, such as holidays, vacations, and these are the memories that so many adults cling to, that not only do they cling to these memories of relaxation and breaks from stress, but they try to recreate them constantly in their adult life. That's what they're living for. They oftentimes are not doing work that they really enjoy, and they're living for the weekend, they're living for the evening, they're living for vacations. And so if childhood memories contain a happy vision of the ocean as a utopia, of visiting the beach as a panacea, then that's probably being still recreated in the adult life. But instead of just recreating those nostalgic happy moments from our childhood, I think that we need to set our goals a little higher and, let's say, replace these recreations of happy glimpses with an ongoing sense of peace, which means creating a way of supporting yourself that actually fuels you and fulfills you, and dealing with your mind, understanding your mind and how that's the source of most suffering, is repetitive thoughts, obsessive recurring thoughts, and obsessive worry, rumination on past events, and fear about the future. And that's what I'm focused on right now in my life, is just developing a more peaceful mind and not creating stress in my life, not creating situations that are creating and bringing anxiety into my life just because that was the norm for me. It's easy a trap to fall into, but a phrase that occurred to me earlier today was, God does not want us to be stressed out. You know, it's like people can feel they're living a good, godly life if they are busy all the time and always trying to do the right thing and always trying to get to the next goal and all that achievement-oriented thing while being, relatively nice to people and stuff like that. But they're stressed out. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I was also thinking how pets, such as my cat, can be great teachers in this realm because they don't look for stress. They might play sometimes and release energy and that kind of thing, but for the most part, they're here to chill out. And that's why they're just such great teachers, is that they're teaching people, hey, chill out. And I also reflected on there being a cultural component to this stress thing, where Americans, compared to some cultures, seem really addicted to stress and constant information intake and constant stimulation. It's kind of like the American motto is, I'd rather be stressed than bored. But sometimes what we call boredom is just presence with ourselves and with our feelings. And if we are suppressing some kind of grief or trauma, pain, we can say, well, I don't want to be bored. But it's really just about not being present and sitting with those feelings. But by being present with feelings, we can dissolve the discomfort of the past. So when I said earlier about not ruminating on the past, I don't mean not dealing with it. I mean just constantly thinking about things that you already understand. But if there's things that you don't understand, like why did something hurt you, then feel it through. And if there's things that still affect you, just be present with them and let yourself feel them. And commit to not living a life of just recurring stress.